Hi guys!
Hi everyone!
Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to the Holding Timeless Beauty IG Live about BeautiFill.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And there it is. There she is. So we're going to talk about what the BeautiFill procedure is all about, what laser liposuction actually is, how we're doing it here, answer any questions that you have, just sort of talk about this because we're super excited to be able to share this with everybody.
So just going to get it started with a broad overview of what BeautiFill is, and then we'll answer some frequently asked questions that we've been getting from our clients. And the purpose of this live was really just to inform all of you about this super exciting procedure that we're just rolling out. So if you have questions, please send them in. So BeautiFill is basically what we describe as an awake office-based laser liposuction procedure. And so how it differentiates from regular, what we call mechanical liposuction, is that the laser tip is specifically designed to gently melt the fat, and then we suction that fat through the machine in a closed loop system where then we can reappropriate that fat, reuse that fat in other areas once we start offering the replacement of the fat. So it's an elegant procedure. It's performed right here in this room. So you come to our office. The procedure itself is anywhere between 2 to 4 hours from start to finish, and that includes our prep time. We do have a session with you ahead of time where we do a consultation. We do just a full assessment of your concerns and talk about whether it's a good, the right procedure for you. So.
And also a couple of things that are also different apart from just being laser as opposed to mechanical. There is still some mechanical part, but it is much more elegant, as Dr. Conry said. When you do traditional liposuction, it's in the operating room. You're under general anesthesia. With that comes a lot more time, a lot more risk, a lot of complications potentially, and a lot more recovery time. With the laser lipo, with BeautiFill specifically, you're actually awake. Of course, you do have anesthesia, but you are awake. So you cut out that whole operating room and general anesthesia part, which means there are certain people who may not be perfect for laser lipo, who actually may need the operating room. And that's why the consultation that Dr. Conry was just talking about is super important, so we can determine who's a great candidate, which thankfully most of our clients definitely are. Comfort is a big deal. Because people hear awake lipo, people get very freaked out, like, I don't want to be awake for that. But people actually love being able to see as the fat comes out. And again, we definitely do use anesthesia. It's called tumescent anesthesia, and people are very, very comfortable. They're listening to music, they're watching Netflix, they're having a great time, and they're really able to partake in what's going on, which is also really cool.
Very good. Some other questions that we get, I'm just looking through our list of questions that have come up. People ask, what's the downtime? So what is the downtime, Dr. Johnson?
Well, Dr. Conry, it's really all based upon the patient, the client, the procedure. The cool thing is you can really tailor this for people. Some people have fat they want removed from their lower abdomen or upper abdomen, or the love handles, the flanks. It depends on the person. And depending on, is it the entire abdomen? Is it just the flanks? It's going to take more or less time for the procedure and more or less time for downtime. But in general, it's awesome because people usually are back in school, they're back at work within 1 or 2 or 3 days, depending on the person, clearly. And in terms of working out, really, really intense exertion, it's going to take a couple of weeks for sure. But again, it depends on the person, it depends on how much we removed and from where.
And something that you mentioned, which I loved, was just that custom kind of sculpting that we can help do with that. And so that's why the consultation is so key, because we can really listen to your concerns and talk about how you can custom sculpt with BeautiFill. So
that's really cool.
Great. Someone else asked how many treatments are required. And so in general, you really only need one treatment. Some people may have to come in down the line if additional treatments are needed, but for the most part, this is designed to be a one-time office-based procedure.
Yeah.
So.
And again, it's going to depend on the person. The consultation will really go into what the expectations really are. But for the most part, like Dr. Conry said, it's a one-time thing, which is great.
Another question, does it hurt?
Oh, does it hurt? Of course. So, is there some discomfort potentially while you're getting some of the anesthesia? Some people say they feel a little bit almost like a poke or some burning a little bit initially, the first 1 or 2 minutes. But otherwise, for the most part, it's really well tolerated. And we have a lot of content of people that we've done already who are, again, listening to music, giving us a thumbs up. It's really funny. Or just watching their fat come out, because people love to do that. And it's really, really, yeah.
Very satisfying for us and for
right,
you.
and for them. It is very well tolerated. It's quite comfortable for most people. There's going to be a little bit of swelling, often some mild discomfort after for the first day or two, but usually nothing more than Tylenol is needed for that. So overall, it's definitely not a painful procedure, and most people do really well in terms of tolerating it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm always just pleasantly surprised with people. They're, like you said, able to watch TV, they're talking to us, they're comfortable. And getting that feedback during the procedure is also great, because we, we know how they're doing.
And with general anesthesia, if they're completely out, you can't get that feedback. So it's really cool to be able to get that feedback. Because both of us working in aesthetics and in emergency medicine, it's all about the feedback, the interaction with the patient, and this fits right into that sort of model of medicine.
Another question is, so is there a consultation fee for us? And so, typically there will be a consultation fee, but because we're rolling out this new procedure and so excited to get it out, we are actually going to be waiving that fee. So you can call to set up that consultation and there'll be no fee. Moving forward, there will be a fee, so take advantage of this opportunity right now for that consultation fee to be waived.
And right before summer, this is the time to do it, right?
Exactly. I mean, that's why we're really rolling it out right now. Everyone wants that hot body summer, so hot girl summer.
Hot body summer, I love that. Hot body summer, I love it.
Another question is, will there be a scar?
So another thing that's really cool about this procedure, about this approach, is we do have to make some incisions, but they're very small, and it's usually 2 incisions, maybe 4 sometimes, and we put them pretty low down where they're going to be covered by underwear or your bikini. And the incisions are super small. They're so small we don't even have to suture them closed. So can you get a scar? Potentially, depending on the type of skin, your pigmentation, how you scar. But again, they're very small incisions. They often do not scar, and they're placed in places that are not going to be noticeable at all. Another thing, another benefit of doing this type of laser lipo approach.
Right, as opposed to a larger trocar that we would have to put in. And the other thing with scarring is we have things that can also help to prevent scars, certain creams that we can recommend, etc. So, anytime there's an insertion of skin, there's always that possibility, but we do everything we can to minimize that. So, another question that has come through is, let's see, so people are kind of curious about exactly how it works. And I know we talked about it a little bit, but some people want those specifics. And so we can tell you that this is the machine itself. The laser component of the machine actually melts up the tissue around the fat cells themselves. And so melts them to a certain degree with a certain wavelength of 1490 is the wavelength of BeautiFill specifically, which is their patented wavelength that really helps. Multiple studies have shown a 95% viability of those fat cells. So that just shows how gentle this process is. Whether, when you compare to previous procedures, the viability of the fat cells was closer to 50%. So this is much more gentle on the fat cells. And the fat cells are then suctioned through a canister into a closed loop here. And then if the desire is to have the fat cells replaced in other areas where you want filler, like your face or buttocks, etc., which is something we will be offering in the future, then you can just reuse those fat cells in the same procedure. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it's really changed a lot about liposuction, this machine, this technology. There are even surgeons who are doing this partially in the operating room. They'll do traditional lipo and then use this machine as well, if it's a very complicated or large case, because it is so gentle and it does really increase the viability of the fat that you're getting out. And again, as Dr. Conry said, we will eventually be doing fat transfer, but as everything we do here at H2B, we really want to make sure we're doing it right. So we're doing sort of a rolled introduction into laser liposuction. But yes, eventually we will have fat transfer, and this is the way to do fat transfer, because the fat that you're getting out is such high quality, liquid gold, if you will. So it makes it great for fat transfer as well.
One of the last questions I'm seeing is, people are asking how much is a procedure, and of course cost is always a question for everyone. We will tell you that we tailor the cost to your particular needs, so that is discussed in detail during the consultation. We are offering, however, an introductory price. And if you mention seeing this IG Live, we will be offering $500 off the introductory price, and a free consultation.
Wow.
So really excited to get this. If you have any more questions, you can call and ask our desk, and if there's specific questions, we will reach out to you as well. So.
And we pride ourselves in skill level and integrity level and being very open and honest. And again, this is why the consultation, because there are some people who don't want to do a consultation. They just want to come on in and get it done. We don't do that because it's really important to sit down face to face, really find out what a person's going for, if they've had any procedures done in the past, what their problem areas are, and get some really just honest and open conversation going about what the expectations should be. But the great thing is with this machine, with this technology, for the right candidate, it works really well.
It works really well, really, and we've had some incredible befores and afters that we'll be sharing, so look out for those on IG, and most of all, come in for your Hot Body Summer.
Woo! Who doesn't want a Hot Body Summer?